Hello folks, Emily here, your Harvest Market dietitian, and today I'm going to be making one of my favorite salad recipes. Now when you think about salad, sometimes it sounds kind of boring, but I'm here to show you that you can make a delicious and satisfying salad that you can really eat any time of year. And it features one of my favorite recipes to cook, salmon. So we're doing a beautiful, really easy, simple salmon salad today. So I have my salmon fillets right here. These are just your standard, these are Norwegian. They do have the skin on. Now you can get skin on or off. Now I'm gonna show you my trick for using a fillet with skin on, and a really easy way so that the skin just sticks right to your pan or your foil, and you have to really mess with it or worry about it. If you're squeamish about it, if you don't want to deal with it, just get salmon with the skin off. So because I'm using salmon with the skin on and I want it to kind of adhere to my pan, I'm not going to spray it with cooking spray. If you do not have salmon with skin on it, if it's just if it's completely skinless, go ahead and give it a good spray with some cooking spray. All right, so I'm just gonna place this just right in the center of my foil. Now this is an important thing. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be creating kind of like a steam packet for our salmon. So what it's gonna do is we want a huge piece. You see my foil is hanging over the edge kind of a lot, and that's on purpose because we want to create a foil packet where we can bring up the sides and then kind of pinch it closed. What this does is this really cooks the salmon well, keeps all the moisture in there so it doesn't dry out. So fish is really known for kind of drying out quickly, and this really prevents that from happening, and it helps it cook a little bit faster as well, and more evenly, so we're not just kind of burning the outside and then leaving the inside raw. So first step, we have our salmon on our sheet of foil. Make sure our foil is nice and big so we can actually wrap it together and then pinch it closed. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, so I like to add these little mini sweet peppers. So not only do they add flavor and a pop of color, but oh my gosh, they're just beautiful in the salad. I love, love, love these. So if you don't have these, or maybe you have some regular bell peppers at home that you want to use, go ahead and use those and slice them up nice and small. I just like these because they're so easy to cook. You can even throw these on here whole, honestly, if you want to, but it's just nice. They roast up just beautifully. They get nice and kind of caramelized, and they just taste so, so good in the salad with the salmon and everything else. So we're just gonna slice these up. So in the recipe that I have for this, I have for 4 servings, but I'm just cutting the recipe in half, so I'm doing 2 servings today. And that's the beauty about this recipe. It's so adaptable, so adaptable. So if you have more people you're feeding, less people you're feeding, simply multiply or divide the recipe by however many you need to. Okay, so we're just gonna discard these little tops here. We don't need the stems. And the seeds are edible. They're not spicy or anything like that, so we don't have to worry about it. If I get some seeds in there, it's no big deal. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of scatter the peppers about the salmon. So I want some kind of all over the place. It looks so pretty already. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, so move these to the side. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut up some lemon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off just the end there, and then we're gonna do some thin slices. Lemon and salmon, to me, they just go hand in hand. They really, really do. So if you wanted to add some fresh herbs to this, I was just thinking, you know, dill also goes really well with salmon. I would do it after the fact. Really tender herbs like dill and parsley, they'll burn in the oven. So we don't want to put them in while everything roasts, but we can certainly sprinkle them on top if we want some. Okay, so nice thin slices. First things first, we're gonna add some seasoning. So I'm gonna use one of my favorite seasoning mixes. It's a Greek seasoning blend. It has kind of everything in there. I like the one-stop shop where I don't really have to worry and fuss over lots of different herbs and spices. But really, honestly, a salt and pepper will go a long way if you want to do a little bit of Italian seasoning, or if you have a favorite all-purpose seasoning blend, use that, okay? So we got that seasoned there. A lot of people ask, do you add olive oil to this? I don't. The salmon is fatty enough, and I don't need any olive oil on there. If you want to put it on there, you're certainly more than welcome. This is your recipe. So then I just throw some of those lemon slices right on top. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna just put the rest of these kind of around. I wanna cook them. And then if you have any of these kind of like butt ends, I just squeeze the lemon juice right on there. Beautiful. Don't want to waste it. It's delicious. So you can give a little cooking spray to the peppers if you want to, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, scoot this aside, and then we're going to take this. Now this is the part that we create our foil packet. So we're going to bring up the sides just like this and the ends, and we're going to just kind of fold it over just like this to create a nice seal. You can put this on the grill in the summertime or in the winter if you grill in the winter. If you're like my dad, he likes to grill any time of the year. So we're just going to kind of pinch this closed. And I've got a 425-degree oven preheated. We're going to stick this in the oven for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to take it out. We're going to let it rest. Really, really important. A lot of folks will say that you don't need to let fish rest, but I think it's really important to kind of create tender, a nice piece of tender fish and let it kind of finish its cooking process without overcooking in the oven. Because we have this packet, everything is gonna stay, the heat is gonna stay trapped in here, and so we wanna kind of let it finish cooking very gently. So again, 425 preheated oven, 15 minutes, take it out, let it rest about 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna get our salad ready. So in the meantime, while my salmon is cooking, you can prep everything else for your salad. I'm gonna start with the dressing. So really, this is one of those things, once you have a good dressing recipe, it's so hard to go back to the store-bought stuff. It just doesn't taste the same at all. So I like to do a little bit of shallot in my vinaigrettes. Now, shallot is great because it is very mild, and it's kind of a cross between onion and garlic. Now, I know a lot of folks can't do really fresh garlic. Sometimes it tends to be a bit harsh, and so this is a great substitute. Oftentimes you'll see shallot as an ingredient in raw foods like vinaigrettes because it is, again, so mild. So I like to, and you know, it's a great aromatic though. You still kind of get hints of that kind of garlicky, you know, aroma, flavor, but it's not super harsh. It's not really in your face a whole lot. So this is great to add. Again, a lot of recipes will call for shallot in raw, you know, raw recipes like vinaigrettes. If you want to use fresh garlic, if you're like, heck yeah, I like fresh garlic, it's so tasty, then by all means, go ahead, add fresh garlic. Okay, so this is gonna go in. I'm just gonna put everything right into kind of this measuring cup here. And you can do everything to taste as well. That's really how I like to cook. Very seldom do I truly measure anything because I like to go by taste. Okay, so we're gonna do some olive oil next. Ooh, I already have a little bit of water in here, and this is just gonna help to kind of mellow things out just a tad. And then we're gonna do some red wine vinegar. Beautiful. And then I have a little bit of honey. This is great for a vinaigrette. You've gotta have a little bit of sweetness to counteract some of the acidity. And then a little Dijon mustard. I like mustard in my vinaigrettes. So mustard has an emulsifying kind of action on vinaigrettes and dressings. That means it kind of helps to temporarily hold things together, because as we know, water and oil do not mix, or vinegar and oil don't mix. And so the Dijon mustard, or any type of mustard, will kind of help to temporarily hold those things together for us, at least while we're dressing our salad. So we're just gonna give this a mix. Again, I'm gonna add in a little bit of that right here, a little bit of that Cavendars Greek seasoning that I used on our salmon. This is just gonna tie everything together. Do you have to use it? Absolutely not. You can use salt and pepper, or again, your favorite all-purpose seasoning. So from here, you just need to taste this and then adjust according to taste. Is it too tart? Is it too oily? Is it too sweet? So all of those things you can kind of counteract by adding a little bit more. I always like to taste it and then decide later. Remember, you can always add to, but you can't take away. So taste as you go, see what it needs more of. We're gonna set this aside. So I have my bowl of greens. I'm just doing an arugula and spinach blend. That's my favorite. Use whatever greens you like. Hey, if you like romaine lettuce, use romaine lettuce. I don't care. It's your recipe. Okay, so to add to this salad, I'm just going to do a few things, a few additions. I really like some English cucumber in mine. English cucumber is the one that has a really thin skin. It has very few seeds. It's really nice and dense. You don't have to peel it. It comes in that, it comes wrapped and shrink wrapped, because the skin is very thin and very tender, and so it needs to be protected. Again, just give it a rinse. You don't have to peel, which is great. Saves some time. So we're just gonna give this a nice chop. Beautiful. And remember, we have those mini sweet peppers that it's gonna go in our salad as well after it's done roasting in the oven. So that's another addition. You can totally add lots more to this. Again, whoop, there goes a cucumber. It's totally customizable. So I just give you kind of a good base recipe that then you can go off of and add whatever you like. I like a little bit of sliced red onion, just thinly sliced. I'm just gonna use a little bit here, because again, I'm cutting this recipe in half. So I'm gonna take that peel off. Excellent. And then we'll just give a nice thin slice. You can use a mandolin or something if you want to, but I find a knife works just fine. You could even throw some of this onto the sheet pan, some red onion, if you like a little bit of that roasted. It gets really nice and sweet and beautiful. Okay, so my rule of thumb for adding dressings to salads: don't ever add as much as you think you should, because what happens is, again, we always can add more, but we can't take it out of our bowl. And the thing with salad is too, I like to just get everything kind of coated to begin with. And then if folks want more dressing as they're eating their salad, they can put it on. So that's my rule of thumb. I never like to have a ginormous puddle of dressing at the bottom, because our greens, especially tender greens like this, are gonna get way too soggy. So we're just gonna give this a good mix and then give a good pour. Again, that looks like not a lot at all, but a little bit goes a long way. This dressing makes a lot more than we'll need. And we just want everything to be shiny. That's what I'm going for. Everything just to be slightly shiny. But again, as we look in the bottom of our bowl, there should not be a puddle of dressing, okay? Beautiful. See how everything looks nice and shiny and just evenly coated. That's what we're looking for, okay? All right, lovely. So our greens are ready for our salmon. We just gotta wait for it to rest, and then we'll be good to go. So our salmon has rested and roasted and rested, shall I say. So we are ready to go ahead and plate up our beautiful salads. So first off, let's just open this up and take a look, shall we? Look how beautiful this is. So this is, again, my very, very, very favorite way of cooking salmon. Do you have to use peppers if you don't like them or you don't want them? Absolutely not. You can do onions, you can just leave them out as is, but it really creates perfectly juicy, moist salmon every single time. So we're gonna go ahead and plate up our salads. So one in this dish, one in here. And again, I cut the recipe in half so I could just have 2 salads rather than 4. And again, this recipe is totally adaptable, really easy to make bigger, smaller, whatever you want. Okay, beautiful. So now we're gonna go ahead and lift our salmon off of here. We're gonna leave the skin on the tray, and it just sticks right on there. Take my spatula here and just separate that skin. Because it rested and it's so moist in here, the skin is, we can just peel it right off. There we go, beautiful. It should just come off in one nice piece, and you can leave that on your tray right there. And then we can take some of these peppers and just put it right on our salad. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I wish you could smell this. Look at that. Look at that beautiful salmon salad, warm salmon on a beautifully dressed bed of greens. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.